Okay, so welcome back. Today we got Mo, big Packer Mo here. Excited to have him on here. You're my high school left tackle and real good friend, so it's exciting to have you on. Just give us a little background about yourself.
Yeah, well, as you said, my name is Mohammed. Mo is what people call me. This is my beloved quarterback, Jonah, that I played football with for what was it, Jonah, 2 years? Or was it
Just
just 1 year?
one, just one,
Okay.
one
Yeah.
glorious year.
Yeah, it was very fun. One of my best years ever playing football. But other than that, I'm 23 years old, Egyptian. Some people don't know that. I live here in Carroll Stream, Illinois. But dad is originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is why I love the Packers so much and anything Wisconsin related. Right now, I serve in medical radiography. I work in that profession at Northwestern Hospital. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And recently engaged, like you said, um, to my beloved,
Congrats.
lovely fiance.
There we
So
go.
she knows who she is. She's the best. But yeah, man, it's life is good. We just out here bulling and just living life day by day.
Hell yeah, I love that, man. You were definitely one of my favorite players that I played with, so I appreciate you a lot.
Yes, sir.
Um, Talk to us a little bit about your football career, kind of like the how you got into it, what got you started in it, and just kind of your whole high school career and everything.
Mm. It's funny. I actually didn't play football growing up. Like I didn't play any pee-wee level football, nothing like that. My dad never really believed in like enrolling us in sports when we were young. But I knew whenever I started high school, like I wanted to enroll in football. Like I wanted to play. Like I'm such a competitive person where I need to get those competitive juices out one way or another. I don't care if we're playing freaking checkers. I don't care if we're playing like Connect Four. Like I need to be competitive. So freshman year comes about, and obviously as a freshman, everyone makes the football team. So I was on there. I ended up starting, and I was playing both ways actually. So I was playing not only left tackle, but they had me playing defensive tackle. So that was pretty cool, and that was my first exposure to football. So there's a lot of lessons that I learned from there. Most notably, like time and discipline, time management, all those good things. So I really enjoyed it from there. And then sophomore year came, and I started there as well. I played both ways my sophomore year, left tackle and defensive tackle. Actually, I think I was right tackle sophomore year. And then by the time junior year came, I felt like I started getting in a groove of things. And I was only playing offensive line. But I needed to kind of gain more muscle and I needed to work a little bit on my quickness by the time like senior year came around. And that's what happened. Senior year came and I felt like I was in the best shape of my life. And I played left tackle, Jonah, as you know. And we had a pretty good year that year. Went 7-2. We lost, unfortunately, to Glenbard West, which still kills me to this day. But football has been, if I could have one more snap, so help me God, I'll do anything for it. So it's really changed my life for the better.
What would you say is your was your biggest high in your football career?
Oof, you know what I'm gonna say, Jonah? Come on now. Uh, it's
Let's
it's
hear
got
it.
it's got to be that South Elgin game
Yeah.
when we went to their stadium and took back the rivalry bell. Obviously, as you know, I Coach Murray, who was our offensive coordinator, he
Hmm.
had a play dialed up for me, like the lineman eligible play. And man, I remember when he called it. When I heard you calling the play in the huddle, I'm like, no way! Like, wow, it's actually happening, like against our rivals. So I'm like, I'm nervous and excited at the same time. And man, once I got that ball, I'm kind of surprised the refs didn't call it a forward pass because whenever I look at it, I feel like it was slightly forward. But I ended up getting tackled for like I don't know if it was like an 8-9 yard gain. We were just short of the first down, and anytime I look at that play, I just get so angry with myself. I'm like, how the hell did I not score? How did I not break the tackle? Like I went down like a sissy because mainly I just didn't want to fumble. I was just scared I
Yeah.
was gonna fumble. So I'm like, let me just hold on to the ball, get a positive gain, so then Coach Murray doesn't rat me out and roast me because he told me all week, better not fumble the ball, if we call this play. So yeah, that was definitely a highlight. But for all of us, Jonah, you had a great game. That game, you were on fire. You had a huge throws for us. That whole day, our fans were amazing. The students were great. So I would say that's definitely the high of my career.
Yeah, that play was definitely awesome. I remember earlier in the week when we put it in, there must have been bad weather or something. So we were inside practicing in the gym, and Coach Murray, I think he said something like, like we're putting this in, and he's like, Mo, if you drop this, like we're running it once. If you drop it, like we're not calling it. So I'm sure you're probably like,
Yep.
oh shit, like I better catch this ball. And
Drop
you
this,
kind
we're
of
cutting your
forget
ass.
it was it was in a pretty like critical part of the game too. Like we're driving down, we might be tied or we might be losing at that point. And I think that was on like a third down, and we don't get the first down, but you went like that. You thought it was the first,
I
and
do remember
then
that.
exactly, and then we get a QB sneak. I get stuffed, and then I want to say they go down and score, either tie the game up or take the lead, or I think they take the lead, and then after that, I think we go drive down and win the game. But yeah, I mean that was an awesome play, and I totally trusted you.
Yeah, and if you
I knew you were
remember,
gonna catch it.
that same week, I just remembered it now. We actually ran the play in practice. It was outside,
Yeah,
and it went for a huge gain. I don't know if you remember that. Like the defense, like our defense was totally shocked when we ran that. And it
yeah,
was like, what, 40, 50 yards? I was just
yeah.
hooting and booling, like down the field. I just wish it was like that. I could have scored. If you look at the footage again, Ali, who was our left guard, he made a block, but the thing is, the play was designated for me to go outside to kind of follow the sideline. But I saw Ali, I think one of the linebackers was kind of drifting outside, but Ali got him down, but it was a little late. Like I had already cut inside because I saw the defender already
Mm.
starting to shift outside. So I
Hmm.
was like, all right, let me cut this thing a little bit in. But had I just maybe waited a little more, been a little more patient, I think that we could have scored. I mean, so a lot of regret there, but no, nonetheless, it was such a fun play, fun time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love that, man. Hey, we won the game too, so that's all that matters
That's
at
all
the
that
end of the day.
matters.
What would you say is your biggest low then?
Are you talking about in terms of my like athletic career or just football?
Yeah, football. Yeah, yeah. Any of it.
I would, man, that's tough because I mean, I guess like maybe junior year, not playing all the time on varsity was kind of tough. Because I needed to get stronger. Honestly, I was again, that's only my like third year playing football in a team setting. But I can't think of too many lows when it comes to football. Now I also played basketball, Jonah. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
I
I do.
played basketball for Bartlett, and my biggest low, that's the easiest. I mean, I got cut trying out for varsity my junior year, and the year prior to that, my sophomore year, I started. So it was a big shock
Damn.
to me. And I remember a lot of people were a little surprised, but at the time, our varsity team, we had such amazing talent on there, and I remember seeing after tryouts, like where the coach posts the list on the board. I'm like going, and usually I'm the first name, Mo Abdelhafez, AB. So I'm usually the first
Yeah.
name alphabetical order. So I look, I'm like, what the hell? I don't see my name. So I'm like scrolling down. Okay, maybe they put it on the bottom or something. I look, it's not there. So I go in the coach's office because the coach is like, we'll be in the office if anyone has questions about why you did or didn't make the team. Come talk to us. So I storm in that office. I'm like, what the hell? Am I like dreaming right now? Like somebody pinched me. And Coach Wolf Smith, he looks at me in the eyes. He's kind of like teary eyed. It's crazy. Like he's not crying, but he's like eyes are watery.
Mhm.
He's like, Mo, this is one of the toughest cuts I've ever had to make. You're such a great guy. You have a lot of talent. Unfortunately, we just didn't feel like your skill set matched this team. We have a lot of returning seniors that are worthy of making the team, and we had to cut you, and we want you to work on your lateral quickness. So my lateral quickness wasn't the fastest. That's side to side quickness. So I'm like, damn. Like I wasn't buying it. I was still pissed off. But right after there, that's where my gym journey started. That's where I got in the gym. I got faster. I lost weight. I was just a man on a mission. Came back senior year, tried out for the basketball team, made the team, got a lot of playing time, in some games and football. I had a great senior year. So I would say that was definitely the low. That was definitely the low point of my athletic career in high school. And it's still like, gives me a chip on my shoulder to this day, I feel like.
You were definitely one of the more passionate players that I've been around in, during my time playing football. So, what makes you so passionate about the game? Like, what drives you?
I think it's just for me, it's like an outlet. It's like where I could kind of release my stresses and emotions out there on that field. Like I'm just competitive as it is naturally. I feel like I've always been that way. I just love winning in whatever I do, whether it's sports, whether it's in life. Like I love winning. And when it comes to like football, man, it's the ultimate like team game. Like you hear about it all the time, but it really is like if one player, it's like a math problem. If you do one little wrong step in the problem, the entire problem is wrong. In football, if you have a lineman that misses his block, if a receiver runs the wrong route, if a quarterback takes one step the wrong way, the entire play is messed up. So it's like, why I love football so much is like you feel like you're literally a family and everyone's got to be on the same page. Everyone's got to be on board. If you're not, then you're not going to get the results that you want. So that's kind of how it is with football. It's like everyone's trusting each other. You have that unconditional trust, love, respect, and everyone has one common goal, and that's go out there, win, try your best. And I guess that's why I love the game of football so much. It's because it also it really showcases your talents, man. I mean, Jonah, I remember the first time seeing you throw that damn football out there in practice, and we're like, "Who the hell is this guy?" Fresh out of Kaukauna, Wisconsin, who is this dude? We've never seen him in our life. We're all talking about Joey Lodondo being our starter, and then here we come. We see some guy slinging the football so effortlessly, like Aaron Rodgers, just flicking his wrist, and we're like, "Whoa, okay, who we got here?" So we meet you during practice one of those days, and we see that you're throwing rockets and throwing it so effortlessly, and we're like, damn, we got a guy, we got a stud. Let's rumble. We wish you were with us the past 3 years, but it's moments like that where it really makes you appreciate and love the game so much. It
Yeah.
brings you to another level. The people around you could either elevate you or bring you down. And I feel like our team's senior year, they really brought us up, man. I mean, we fired each other up. I thought we had the wrong mentality going into our playoff game, which is why we lost and got spanked. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
are talking about losing, which pissed me off.
I
But
agree.
it's all about a mentality. So I love football.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was a great answer. I thought we had a really good team. And Liam, what do you got for us here?
Dude, well, first off, Mo, talk about your passion for the game. Now, would it be fair to say that you were the Patrick Beverly of left tackles?
Oof, Patrick Beverly. I don't, I don't like Patrick Beverly, so I don't want to be compared to him. But I'd say, how about more the Bobby Portis of left
Bobby
tackle?
Portis. Okay.
Yeah,
Portis.
I'd say that's my all time favorite basketball player of all time is Joakim Noah. He was a center for the
Okay.
Bulls.
Yep,
Yeah.
And
yep.
because of the intensity and passion that he always played the game with. He wasn't the most talented, but man, the
Yeah.
guy would just fire me up watching him. And I just
Yeah,
always
that's
try to
fair.
model that passion when I play sports. So I would say, left tackle. I love people defensive ends talking smack to me. I loved it. It fired me up because it made me go just that much harder to just rip your throat apart and just pancake
Mhm.
block you. And I loved it. I took pride in that. So I would say, yeah, left tackle is a premium position. You're the blind side of the quarterback.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, if I do one wrong move, Jonah's getting killed. And
Mhm.
I'd say I did well, all things considered. I had one really rough game. I think it was our homecoming game, maybe, or a little before that. It was against Glenbard South. And man, I just kept getting holding penalties. I don't know. My footwork was off that day. I don't know what was going on. And me and the backup left tackle were rotating in, and my lineman coach was like, "Mo, I need you. Get your butt in the game and stop messing up. We need you now. You're clearly our most talented lineman, left tackle. Get in there and keep your quarterback upright." And I finished the game, thankfully, and I did better. But yeah, if you don't have the right mentality playing offensive line, you're doing yourself a
Yeah.
disservice.
Shout out Coach Hubbard.
Now, Liam, do you know why we had a new coaching staff senior year? Jonah, I don't even know if you know the story. I'm sure you do,
I have
but
no idea.
Why was that?
so junior year, there was an incident actually involving me in which the entire coaching staff got fired.
What'd you
Uh,
do, bro?
well, I didn't do nothing. So what happened was one day at practice, there was a certain package play that we were installing, and the old coaching staff they were trying to, and they were very old school, especially the lineman coach, Coach Williams. He was super old school, and mind you, they've been at Bartlett for 10 plus years. So Coach Williams, the old school lineman coach, he was trying to teach me how to pull, and he
Yeah.
wanted me to lead up instead of kicking the defensive end out. But like an idiot, I keep kicking out the defensive end, so doing what I'm not supposed to do. So he basically tells me to go in my stance again, in my 3 point stance, and he takes off his belt from his shorts, and he puts the belt in my helmet, in my face mask. So I'm like, first of all, when he took off his belt, I'm like, what the hell is he gonna do? Is this guy trying to whip me or something? I'm like, I wish he would. I swear I'd kill him. But he takes off his belt, he puts it in my helmet. He goes in front of me and he walks me around like a dog to where I'm supposed to be leading up. And my entire
Damn.
I was just shocked. At that moment, I was shocked. I'm like,
Yeah, I
what
would be
the
too.
I was like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, should I punch this guy? Should I just stay calm, whatever? So my teammates were
Jesus.
pissed. my teammates were so pissed. They're like, "How did you not say anything?" I'm like, "Guys, I was shell shocked. I couldn't believe what I was experiencing." And so it turns out one of our teammates actually reached out to the athletic director, and he went to report the incident. And Coach Williams, the offensive lineman coach, he didn't just do it to me. He actually did something similar to another lineman who was doing something wrong. He was a senior, Miles. I don't know if you remember him, Jonah. Um, he takes off his shirt and he puts his shirt and Miles like literally right behind his butt. Like literally he's like walking him too. We're like right behind him, kind of like he's on a leash or something. I don't know. So he did it to me and another lineman, but I would say the incident with me was what got them fired. So it launched like a whole investigation with the school. Like players were interviewed. I got interviewed by the principal, athletic director, like everybody. And after the investigation concluded, they ended up getting fired and not brought back. So that's why our new staff came in senior year. So it was pretty crazy.
That is a wild story. I was not expecting to hear that.
Yeah, nah, I still remember it to this day. So, it's just
Character building.
that was insane, man. That really was. I look back at it now, I laugh, but it's like in the moment, if that happened to me again, knowing how I am now, I don't think I'd be able to control myself. Like I would literally like I would fight the coach. Like I would be
Yeah,
that.
you'd have to.
I mean, I would, yeah, I'd like bulldoze the guy. So, but it happens. Like, what are you gonna do? You just,
Yeah, as a kid too, Yeah, makes sense.
yeah,
You ready for this transition?
let's go,
So how about them Packers?
man. The G&G, like Mark Tauscher calls them, the green and gold. They look real good. They have had a few, maybe a little lucky wins in there sprinkled in,
Sure.
but listen, a win is a win in the NFL. And just as I tell ESPN Milwaukee when I'm on the radio with them sometimes, the Packers, when it reaches around December, the Packers just tend to just, put their best foot forward and they just keep ascending. They are like, this is Packer season. This is Packer weather. When the weather gets cold, when the snow starts to fall, when that tundra becomes ice, like it literally makes your body shiver. So like I love where the Packers are at. Tomorrow's going to be a big test for them. I'm
Yes,
cautiously optimistic. The Lions are very banged up, but
they
so
are.
are the Packers. The Packers won't be with Jair Alexander and Romeo Dobbs. So that's kind of a tough blow. But I think if they could, control the game, control the tempo, control the offensive line, I think the Packers could win this game because I hate Detroit. I literally despise the Detroit Lions. I can't stand them with all my heart.
I think when we last played them at Lambeau. Now, last year on Thanksgiving, we did beat them in Detroit, and it was just the problem of getting it in the end zone because the Lions had 261 yards, no turnovers. They had 24 points, and we had 411 yards, one turnover, and 14 points. So we can definitely put up yards and like points. We just got to convert them to touchdowns. And they are, like you said, they are a lot more banged up than we are in
Yeah,
comparison. And the last three games, the Jordan Love winter arc for the second straight year is happening,
yeah,
where he's got five touchdowns, one pick, 700 yards, 120 rating. And the last three games, too, the defense has been stepping up a lot. We're giving up 15 points a game to the Bears, Dolphins, and Niners. I know the Bears are, Bears are Bears. The Niners are a little banged up. The Dolphins can't beat the cold weather allegations, but those are still some solid football teams, good coach football teams, and giving up 15 points a game, you're gonna win a lot.
yeah, yeah. I mean, so the Bears game, as much joy, like it brought me so much joy to see the Bears become the Bears and mess up that field goal. I'm not glad we are lucky to win that game. Like,
Oh yeah,
listen, with the win,
100%.
but if they have competent, linemen on that field goal unit, that maybe it goes up the uprights and the Packers lose that game. But it didn't happen, so we could just talk about how they are right now. And the bottom
Mhm.
line is they are 9-3. The Dolphins, yeah, I mean, I thought the Dolphins were going to put a much bigger fight than they did. So I thought the game was going to be a
Yeah,
little closer considering their playmakers with Hill and Waddle. But the Niners were banged up, so it's like could you really get an accurate reading on that game? I mean, they still did their job. I mean, they killed them. They did what they were
yeah,
supposed
they
to.
killed them.
But Detroit, man, I'll tell you, it's going to be another test. And if we win, you're probably gonna have Lions fans saying, "Oh, we weren't at full strength, yada yada, blah blah blah."
Yeah,
So the Packers just have to keep doing the thing, keep stacking wins if they want that one seed and home field advantage, which I doubt. But if they have
yeah,
any,
same.
you got to win tomorrow. You don't win tomorrow, you're not going to win the division. You're not getting one seed. You can be a wild card team, and it just depends on what seeding you fall in. It could be 5, 6, or 7.
I was talking to Jonah about this our last episode. think Jordan loves Packers, where it differs from Aaron Rodgers. It doesn't really matter if Jordan loves playing at home or not in the playoffs, regular season. That doesn't really matter. He balls out wherever. Where Rodgers preferred it at home, even though towards the end of his career that didn't really mean too much. But yeah, I don't care where Jordan Love plays. I'm not too concerned about being a road team at all.
Oh no, no, no. I mean, I think if anything, the Lions want to win this game because the Lions need to be at home. I mean, I don't think they're
Yeah,
made to play outside. Now they have an offensive line and running backs that are made for the
yeah,
cold weather and outside. But in terms of the Packers, 100%. Like I don't think it matters where they play.
no.
I hope the 49ers don't get hot and make the playoffs. I don't think they will, because that's the one
Mm-mm.
team I don't like seeing in the playoffs. Like keep
Yeah,
me.
no.
Yeah, and Seattle. If the playoffs ended today, Green Bay would be going to Seattle, and I have severe PTSD from that. But
Yeah, I know.
That guy got hit in the head with a
I'll
coconut.
play. Listen, the Packers. Let's see how they end the season. That's going to be very telling. If they could finish the season like they did last year, nobody's beating this team. They're going to go to the Super Bowl. I don't care what anybody says.
The
But
big
still,
thing now is how physical the Packers have been getting on defense. We had Isaiah McDuffie, who's like questionable going in, just a casual role player, but he played his ass off. And we're having a lot of guys step up and playing a physical brand of football where the defense hasn't done that since the Clay Matthews
yeah,
days.
yeah. There's an element of physicality to this Packers team that we
Mm.
haven't seen in a very long time. I mean, I remember even last year, when the Packers were playing terrible. I went on the radio and saying this team is charming ultra soft. Like they are just soft. Like they have no like passion, no desire. Like the defensive line, offensive line, like they don't want to like bruise you. They're not bruisers.
Yeah,
They're more
yeah,
finesse, and that's kind
yeah.
of the
I
type
yeah,
of
I like
offense
that.
Packers run. They run like a spread zone offense. So
Yep.
but I love how with the addition of Josh Jacobs, like they've been a little more physical, and you could see like the difference on the offensive and defensive line. So that definitely has stood out, and they need to be very physical tomorrow against Detroit because Detroit's always physical, and they always want to kill the Packers. So they better match that and bring that intensity tomorrow because if not, you're gonna be run out of Ford Field and you're gonna look like an idiot, and people are gonna question if you're a real team or not.
Who is your favorite Packers role player of the 2010s?
My favorite Packers player of the 2010s.
Yeah, your favorite Packers role player
So
that
can
doesn't
you
get
tell me?
much love. Yeah, underrated guy.
Doesn't get
Tough
much
one.
love. I really, really, really liked TJ Lang.
I
And
swear, I thought you were gonna say TJ Lang. Yeah,
yeah,
he was a left guard, if I believe,
I
if I'm correct. I know he's a guard.
no, he was right guard because I think Josh Sitton was the left guard
Okay,
and
yeah,
TJ.
okay, I knew he was a guard. So,
Yeah, he was right guard. I love TJ Lang. He and Rogers loved him too. And he's actually a
yeah,
Michigan funny, so he's actually like a play caller for the Lions right now too. So he's like
yeah.
a
I know he
Really?
played. I think he played for the Lions after he
he
left the
did.
Packers still a bit.
He ended his career, but he was just one of those guys. Honestly, that entire offensive line between him and Josh Sitton and Scott Wells, the center, and
Mhm.
Bulaga, like they just all man. Rodgers had all day back there to throw the football, and
Yeah,
they didn't get much media love. Obviously, the media doesn't really care for offensive linemen. Offensive linemen don't
sure.
really credit as it is. But I just remember like watching them, and I learned to appreciate them more after I started playing football. After I was obviously a left tackle, I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, like these dudes are legit. Like Rodgers
Mhm.
doesn't have to worry about anything. I mean, look at Rodgers
No.
now with New York. The guy's fighting for his life. I mean, he's
Yeah.
running like a air cut off in headlights. I mean, so he can't stay in the pocket with that O line. So I'd say for sure, offensively, TJ Lang stands out to me. If we were to say defensively, I don't know if you guys remember Colin Jenkins.
Yeah, Colin
Yeah.
Jenkins. Yeah, nose tackle, I believe.
Yeah, nose tackle, man. He just did
Yep.
everything right, man. He was a run stopper. He was physical. He was a great leader. I loved everything about Colin Jenkins. So
And now we have a little segment here called "Would You Rather." So I'm gonna name a couple players. You gotta tell me who you'd rather have.
okay,
All right, we have who would you rather have, James Starks or Eddie Lacy?
and that's
That's a tough one.
man. They're different type of runners. So it's
Yeah.
like I think Eddie Lacy in his prime, I'd rather have him. He was more of the bruiser and
Yes.
he had sneaky speed. So I'll go Lacy.
Okay. Then we have Randall Cobb or James Jones.
These are tough, man. Holy.
Yes.
Um, I,
Hoodie
I'm gonna
James
go.
Jones is a different breed.
Yeah, James Jones was. I think I'm going to go Randall Cobb in his prime strictly because his
That's
ability to
fair.
great, especially in a premium position like slot receiver, and
Yeah.
Rodgers trusted him so much. Like I remember when Cobb was a rookie, like that return for a touchdown against the Saints, like 108 yard or whatever.
Hmm.
Cobb was
Yeah.
special, and Jaden Reed reminds me of a better Randall Cobb. So I'm
Yeah.
going to.
And then lastly here we have Clay Matthews or Charles Woodson.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I know
Uh
Matthews was there a little longer, obviously,
yeah.
but
I I'd rather have Clay Matthews only because he was with the Packers longer.
mm,
Edge rusher is a very, very important position. You know, the football's won in the battle of the trenches, you know, up front.
yeah.
Charles Wilson was a dog, one of the best safeties ever in Packer history. It was an amazing free agent signing, but I got to go with Clay Matthews, man. He was just different. He played the game with such an edge, with such physicality and tenacity. It was a treat to watch. I love Clay Matthews.
All right, thank you. That was good. I like that. Now, Jonah, do you want to start us off here with our bets and props for the Thursday night game tomorrow between the Packers and Lions?
Yeah. Okay, so the points. So it's 51.5. I'm taking the over here. It's inside. If it was in Green Bay, I'd probably take the under, but I
Mhm.
think Jordan Love and Jared Goff are gonna have big games. And Jared Goff, his line for his passing is 254, and Jordan Love is 251. I'm taking the over for both. And yeah. What about you?
I like that. What do you think of that, Mo?
I don't bet, but
Sure.
if I was somehow a betting man or whatever,
Mhm.
I would say the over, but don't be surprised if it's the under. I'm telling you right now, these divisional games sometimes could be like
Yeah.
That's fair.
very physical. So, I'm gonna say under. I'm gonna say under.
Okay.
So, something tells me, yeah, I could see it being like 20-17 or like 21-18. Like I could see it becoming
Close
a
one.
Do you think J-Lo and Jared Goff each get 250 yards?
Unfortunately, it pains me to say I could see Jared Goff getting 250. Jordan Love, I don't know because I think the Packers are going to rely on that run game, especially with the Lions defensive front banged up. So I'd say more Jared Goff.
Okay,
I
that's
like
fair.
that.
My pick is I have Jahmyr Gibbs getting over 20 receiving yards. Obviously they're big receiving back, and I think he needs probably like two catches for it, or one screen could even do it.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
would.
yeah, that's my pick. I think that's a solid play.